Welcome to Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Raw results from March 8th. Also, WWE main event. Birthdays, Santino Marella, March 14th, had a birthday. He was born in 1974. Wrath, 1964. Beulah McGillicuddy, also on the 14th. Iron, McGillicuddy was born in 1969. Iron Sheik, 1942, on the 15th. Also on the 15th, Jordan Devlin, 1990. Max Jacob Friedman, 1996. On the 16th, Henry O. Godwin, 1964. Steve Armstrong, 1965. Brett DiBiase, 1988. Kenny Dykstra, 1986. And Mike McGirt, 1955. On the 17th of March, Samoa Joe, 1979. Test, 1975. Rick the Model Martel on the 18th, 1956. And EC3, 1983. Former WWE Divas Champion AJ Lee turned 32 years old, while former WWE Tag Team Champion Matt Sydal, Evan Bourne, turned 36. Advertised dark main events from Raw were advertised as Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin, and Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Christian explains why he won't return to in-ring action. Talks Dean Ambrose leaving WWE as well at this link. Based on ways things have been going the past few months, it appears that Beth Phoenix may be returning to WWE in an in-ring capacity pretty soon. Well, will Christian do the same? It's been 5 years since he last competed in a WWE ring, and when he was asked if he thought about making a return. Well, I'm 45 years old, Christian told Wrestling Inc. on the weekly podcast last week. If I was 29 or 30, I was forced to retire and felt like it wasn't my time. There may be a little push to see what I could do, but I'm also realistic at 45. I never wanted to be one of those guys who hung on too long. Christian then said he accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish in wrestling, and he's confident in his ability to do other things outside of the ring. I was never a guy who needed to go out there and say goodbye or anything like that. Christian said on getting a proper farewell before discussing the Hall of Fame. I don't know what's going to happen. If I had a nickel every time someone asked me if I was going into the Hall of Fame, then I could buy a lot of stuff. Laughs. I'm not worried about it. We'll see if and when it ever happens. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. With the rise of AEW, there is competition for WWE that has been seen since the Attitude Era. Christian talked about this current period in wrestling being great one for fans due to the litany of options. There's always going to be those boom periods, and this is definitely one. I think that more than anything. There was a lot of talent out there, said Christian. While there is a platform for them to show what they can do, there's only so many spots on each roster. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the winner is the wrestling fan because they have a lot of options. For weeks, it was reported that Dean Ambrose was on his way out of WWE before rumors started circulating that he would be staying. Christian left WWE in his prime to go to TNA, and he discussed comparisons to Ambrose's position. I would never tell anybody, hey, this is what you need to do. This is not my thing. I think you just have to go. You have to believe in yourself, and I'm not sure what the game plan is, admitted Christian. I don't know if it's going to continue to wrestle or if he's not. I don't really know. Being the Elite, episode 142 can be found in this link. And 143, this link. Do it in 1 week this week. I'll post them both together. WWE reportedly signed former Impact X Division champion DJZ, according to BW Insider. DJZ will be coming into work for the NXT brand. WWE reportedly made their offer to him during last week in February. DJ revealed back on December 31st he was a free agent after parting ways with Impact. His contract had expired there. He debuted for Impact in 2011 and worked there off and on, becoming a two-time X Division champion and a one-time tag team champion with Andrew Everett. There's no word yet on when the 32-year-old will report to WWE Performance Center in Orlando, but it's believed that he will work a few more dates on the Indies to finish up there. Also noted, WWE recently signed DJ's former bromance partner Robbie E. Going under the name of Robert Strauss to a deal as well. He's currently at the Performance Center training. DJ was praised for Friday's match with Sammy Guevara at the Warrior Wrestling 4 Indie event in Chicago. And here's a few shots from that match, which was a few shots from DJ's weekend debut for the International Wrestling Cartel, IWC. At IWC Wrestling, a magical moment happened last night. At IMDJZ, entered at IWC ring for the final time. And that link can be found at there. That link. Action can be found at that link. WWE has announced that more than 25 hours of WCW Thunder went live on the WWE Network today. Episodes 78 through 97 are now available for viewing. Did not get the clip from episode 90, which featured Hall of Famers Bret Hart and Bill Goldberg capturing the WCW tag team titles from Creative Control. WWE Studios Fighting with My Family, movie based on Paige's family, will be released on DVD, Blu-ray, and digital on Tuesday, May 14th. You can pre-order the DVD or Blu-ray at sale price. Didn't get the link for that. As noted, Wednesday's episode of Drop the Mic on TNT will feature Rusev and Lana versus Mark Cuban in a rap battle. Executive producer Jensen Karp revealed on Twitter that this will be their second annual WWE night on the show. As the New Day will also be featured, they will battle R&B singers SWV. Karp tweeted the following on the episode at this link. And you can see the action at that link as well. Sin Cara has been reportedly signed a new deal with WWE. According to PW Insider, new deal is for 3 years. Sin Cara inked the new deal several weeks back and had been working under the terms of an extension from his previous contract. The Masked Superstar is expected to return to SmackDown brand soon. He's been off TV since undergoing knee surgery in August 2018. He was backstage at last week's SmackDown and has been training in the ring at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando as of late. He told fans on Twitter in mid-February that he was ready to make his comeback. Former Hunico signed a WWE developmental deal shortly after his tryout match in 2009. He first took over the role of Sin Cara in August 2011. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are currently at a standstill in their contract negotiation with WWE, according to PW Insider. The issue has led to the Good Brothers being pulled from all coming scheduled WWE live events. Gallows and Anderson are still scheduled to be at TV tapings and pay-per-view events, but they have been pulled from live events indefinitely. Also noted, there has been talk of Gallows and Anderson will leave WWE when their current contracts expire in September. They reportedly turned down multi-million-dollar deals as they are not happy with how they've been used in recent years. WWE's officials have been meeting with Gallows and Anderson to discuss a new deal, and they have with many talents as of late. It was noted earlier this month that they are already missed out on some live event dates because of how the initial contract meetings didn't lead to a new agreement between the two sides. Gallows and Anderson won the March 12th pre-SmackDown Dark match over Sanity, but their last TV appearance came on February 5th SmackDown episode. They lost to Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura. Looks like their last non-TV live event bookings came in late February as they were defeating Sanity at weekend shows. Gallows and Anderson remain in talks with WWE about a new deal. It was noted earlier this month that the Good Brothers are determined to continue their pro wrestling careers outside of WWE. Of course, Gallows has his wrestling school. A lot can happen between now and September. But there continues to be a feeling that they will be leaving. Probably going back to New Japan. As noted last week, Anderson took to social media and apparently denied the reports of posting a video of a 7-year-old son, Silas. My dad said, "Don't believe everything you read." Silas said in the video, this link. It's still playable. Can't deny a video, but it's playable. Batista is not backstage for for tonight's Raw in Chicago, but will be appearing live in the arena tonight. According to PF Insider, his latest movie, Dune, began filming today in Europe. It's scheduled to be released on November 20th, 2020. Heath Slater and Rhino have not wrestled since December 28th Raw, but they did appear in two brief backstage segments after that. A fan on Twitter asked Slater where he's been, and Slater responded, "In the shadows." You can see Slater's tweet below. Of course, Heath Slater, OMRB, one man, OMRB, man. In the shadows. Tonight's Raw saw Hall of Famer Beth announce that she is ready to come out of retirement for a match at WrestleMania 35 with WWE Women's Champion Sasha Banks and Bayley. We noted how the speculation of Phoenix and Natalya teaming to face Banks and Bayley, but plus Nia Jax and Tamina Snuka, among others like the Iconics, in a multi-team for the titles. It could end up being Fatal 4-Way. As Banks and Bayley are confirmed for this week's SmackDown episode to confront them. A video from the Raw segment that saw Banks and Bayley at this link can confirm their SmackDown appearance before they mixed it up with Phoenix and Natalya. Which for Natalya's singles match with Banks had interference from Jax and Snuka. It was announced to fans at this week's Raw from the Allstate Arena in Chicago that WWE NXT Takeover War Games 3 will take place at the same venue during the WWE Survivor Series 2009 weekend. On Saturday, November 23rd, the following lineup was shown on the big screen. Friday, November 22nd, SmackDown on Fox. Saturday, November 23rd, NXT TakeOver War Games 3. November 24th, Survivor Series pay-per-view. Monday, November 25th, Raw. So all of them going to be right there on the same venue. Tonight's Raw also saw Drew McIntyre issue a WrestleMania 35 challenge to Roman Reigns. The storyline was that Reigns was not cleared to appear on this week's Raw due to the beating he took from McIntyre last week. There's a few shots from Drew's promo on Raw at this link. Former superstar Adam Rose took to Instagram earlier in the day and announced his official full-time retirement from the ring. "I want to announce my full-time retirement from the wonderful world of professional wrestling," Rose said. "It's been one hell of a ride. I will be fulfilling all dates currently booked, but not taking any more bookings going forward. Thank you to the fans who supported me, the promoters who booked me, and all the good brothers and sisters who worked with me. Mainly thank you to at WWE for letting a 9-year-old South African boy live his dream. Many blessings and so much love to all. Goodbye and thank you." Rose first announced back on March the 11th, 2017 that 2017 would be his last year in wrestling. He worked so many dates since then, but now he says that the ride's finally coming to an end. In 2019, he noted in a 2018 interview that he continued to wrestle last year due to financial reasons. Rose spoke to Chris Van Vliet from ESPN in 2017 about why he wanted to retire that year. He said, "I feel like it's time to move on to other things. I don't want to be one of those guys that's hanging on and hanging on and hanging on. I'm done. It's done. It's had its life. It's over with, and it was fun while it lasted. It is now time to move on to other things. You know, I've got a wife, and I've got 2 kids, and got other business interests. I can justify being there half foot in and half foot out." The former Leo Kruger made headlines in mid-January of this year after posting on Instagram to thank WWE for helping him get sober, making a milestone of more than 415 days clean. Rose then later revealed that former NXT superstar Bull Dempsey is the one who made the call to WWE to get Rose into treatment. Rose made his pro wrestling debut in 1995 at the age of 15. For a South African indie promotion, Rose was later signed to a WWE developmental deal and then made his debut in February 2010. He went from NXT to the main roster. In May of 2014, he was later released on May 23rd, 2016, and a full post on his retirement on this link, on his Instagram account. It was noted yesterday that former WWE Intercontinental Champion Shelton Benjamin had reached out on Instagram to express his personal interest in becoming Kurt Angle's opponent for his retirement match at WrestleMania 35, but that did not seem to happen. I would have supported it as well, as they were the world's greatest tag team faction. Of course, he was with Charlie Haas and also Kurt Angle. Although the relationship has seen many ups and downs since its inception, Benjamin and Angle first appeared on WWE together in the latter part of 2002, when Shelton joined the world's greatest tag team, alongside Charlie Haas. And their mentor at the time, Kurt Angle. Under Kurt Angle's tutelage, Benjamin and Haas won their first tag team championships just a month after their debut, and they will go on to be two-time champions before the team went their separate ways. Angle has now responded to Benjamin's challenge with a simple but enthusiastic, "I'm game." Another person also interested in his challenge accepted his challenge by Facebook, and his response was, "Oh, pick me, Kurt. You forget I was your first in WWE, and I would be honored to be your last. None other, and how now chiropractor and still in great shape, Sean Stasiak." But on Raw, Angle came out and announced his opponent, Triple C, consummated Constable Corbin, and he came out and accepted. WWE taped the following matches tonight in Chicago for this week's main event episode. Razor and Drake Maverick defeated Kurt Hawkins with Zack Ryder. Hawkins received a big pop. Razor won in a 6-minute with a chokeslam. The crowd was fully behind Hawkins, including a great near fall. They got a good pop. Titus O'Neil and the Lucha House Party defeated the Ascension and the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Revival. Titus got the pinfall after Titus bomb on Victor. At King Blade Blah contributed to the results for that on Twitter. Raw opened up for the Universal with the Universal Champion, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, making his way to the ring. Your hashtag Universal Champion at Brock Lesnar and at Heyman Hustle are here to kick off Monday Night Raw. And this was on the 19th. Lesnar flanked by Heyman, as he normally did. In the ring in Chicago and receiving a fair amount of boos. Lesnar lifts the title high to silence, but then they boo even louder. Heyman introduces both of them, then moves on to talk about WrestleMania. Heyman says Seth Rollins is a master of weaving propaganda tales, like saying Lesnar has this stylistic problem facing guys of his size and pace. Heyman then calls Rollins a fool and asks fans who the winner was in Brock's matches with Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, and Finn Balor. And then talks about Drew McIntyre, a career killer. He says McIntyre is a machine, and Rollins wants to fight the Scottish psychopath a mere month from WrestleMania. Heyman asks what Rollins is thinking about, then comes out Drew himself. McIntyre on the ramp says it is refreshing to finally get the respect he has earned. Fans boo when he tells them to shut their mouths and open their ears. He reminds us that last week he brutalized both Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns last week. He says that Brock will need a new opponent for WrestleMania because Rollins won't make it to the show after he threw with him. Seth then comes running out and whacks McIntyre in the back with a chair. He floors him with a second shot. Then referees come out to stop Seth. Fans chant one more time to Seth. Hits McIntyre upwards of 20 times. Brock looks like he's seen a ghost. Seth turns to Lesnar and runs into the ring, but Lesnar flies out and leaves. How many chair shots does it take to render at DMC D McIntyre motionless? At WWE Rollins intends to find out. Still to come tonight, Rollins versus McIntyre, Ronda Rousey versus Dana Brooke, and we'll hear Batista's side of the story after the break. Finn Balor and a partner of his choosing will face Lio Rush and Bobby Lashley. Commercial break. We return with Finn Balor on the mic, and he wishes us a happy belated St. Patrick's Day. Before he can continue, Bobby Lashley and the hype man comes out. Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush versus Finn Balor and Braun Strowman as his mystery partner. Lashley and Strowman start things off and lock up. Lashley shows Braun backwards twice. Then the third time, Strowman shows him to the corner. Lashley then runs for a shoulder tackle, but Braun floors him and Bobby rolls to the outside. Commercial break. Back for the break to see Rush kick Balor. Then make a tag to Lashley. Lashley quickly stops Balor from making a tag and applies a chin lock. Balor fights up. Lashley takes him down with a reverse ACL for a near fall. Rush tags in and goes for a sunset flip, but Balor rolls through and drop kicks him. Lashley quickly tags in and punches Balor down. Lashley then manhandles him and takes him down with a chin lock. Balor fights up and tries for a tag, but Lashley stops it. Balor boots him back and tries for a tag, but Lashley slams him into his corner. Lashley charges, Balor sidesteps him and sends the shoulder first at the ring post. Rush tags in, jumps over Balor, but he's scared. Back by Strowman, and takes following an elbow drop from Balor. And at Finn Balor can consider himself caught by the almighty at Fight Bobby. Braun tags in, he grabs Rush and throws him. Strowman then tosses Rush around the ring like a paper ball. He does it again, and Rush gets serious air. Strowman clubs Rush in the chest and lifts him up, but Lashley comes from nowhere and spears the monster. Balor jumps Lashley and knocks him out of the ring. Rush then knocks Balor out of the ring. Rush quickly goes to the top and hits a frog splash on Braun, but Strowman powerfully kicks it out. Rush looks terrified as Strowman gets to his feet. Rush runs away, but he's cornered by Balor. Balor catches Rush, but Lashley knocks him down. Strowman then shoulder blocks Lashley into the crowd. Strowman gets Rush in the ring and shoulder blocks him down. Strowman hits Rush with a choke slam. Lashley's at ringside watching on before he decides to walk up and leave Rush behind. Strowman then hits a running power slam on Rush for the win. We see Ronda Rousey and her husband, Travis Brown, walking into the arena. They're stopped by a referee and security, who say, in addition to being fined for her actions last week, management has saw fit to hire extra security. Ronda blows them off and keeps walking. Alexa Bliss makes her entrance for a moment of bliss with Elias. Commercial break. We're back live, and Alexa talks briefly about WWE's 1 billion social media followers. She says the hype for WrestleMania is real, then turns it over to Michael Cole to run down the card. That must be weird for those in attendance because they can't hear the commentators. Back with Alexa Bliss. She says she is the only person worthy of hosting a card like that. She says she's really a good talk show host. That she has been inspiring people across the world. She then introduces her guest, Elias. Elias sits with Alexa, and then she tells him no, not to worry, because this is a safe place and he won't be interrupted. Elias thanks her and then announces that he will be the headline musical act of WrestleMania. He then criticizes New York and praises New York, earning the boos of the crowd. He says if anybody attempts to interrupt him at WrestleMania, he means anyone, he will beat them down. And here comes a conga line from No Way Jose. As the hashtag blue collar solid with a heavy machinery is in the middle of a moment of bliss. Hashtag Raw. At Otis. At Tucker WWE. Oh, No Way's conga line then comes out and interrupts, but Jose isn't there. Instead, Otis Ojapik and Tucker Knight are leading the way. Alexa apologizes to Elias, saying she did book the conga line, but it was for the end of the show. Elias then gets in Otis' face and says he needs to teach him the importance of timing. Just then, one of the conga line smashes Elias from behind. It's just a guy in a lucha mask, who turns out to be No Way Jose. Elias gets to his feet, and Jose slides into the ring. Fired up, the two will have a match for it after the break. After the break, Elias versus No Way Jose. We return to see the match already in progress, with Jose hitting Elias with an airplane spin. Jose hits a rolling senton on Elias, then forces him to the corner. Elias reverses the whip to the outside corner, opposite corner, but Jose slingshots over him and hits an arm drag. Elias gets up, but Jose hits another arm drag neck breaker combo and sets into an arm bar. Elias eventually punches out of the arm bar and takes Jose down. Jose fires back with a pair of clotheslines and a hip toss neck breaker. Jose clotheslines him in the corner and goes to the top rope for a cross body block, but Elias moves. The support is strong at ringside at No Way Jose as he takes it to I Am Elias WWE. Hashtag Raw. Elias punches and kicks Jose before flooring him with a clothesline. Elias goes to the top rope, almost loses his balance, but then hits a flying elbow drop. Elias follows up with a drift away for the win. Still to come, Batista talks about his history with Triple H, a Raw Women's Championship match. A Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. And next, however, Kurt Angle will announce his WrestleMania opponent. Kurt Angle makes his way to the ring to announce his WrestleMania opponent, and that will be his final match. A thank you, Kurt chant starts out for the crowd. Hashtag thank you, Kurt. Angle says the farewell tour continues. As he gets to have a match here in Chicago. The fans chant, "Thank you, Kurt." He thanks him, then also thanks the McMahon family for allowing him to choose his opponent, which we're about to find out is certainly not true. Angle goes on to say that he wants to face the man who made his life a living hell for the past few years, Baron Corbin. Nothing would make him happier than making Corbin tap out at WrestleMania. So here goes any hope for John Cena. Or Sean Stasiak. Angle's opponent for tonight is Chad Gable. Two men have been compared for a long time. Before the match began, Gable shakes Angle's hand and tells him, without a mic, that he is a hero and a true inspiration, and that the pleasure is all his. Angle versus Chad Gable. As the match begins, the fans chant, "This is awesome." They lock up, and Angle backs him in the corner. Gable applies a side headlock. Angle whips him off, and Gable shoulder blocks him down. Angle gets to his feet and applies a waist lock. Gable reverses it and takes him down. Angle grapevines his head, but Gable keeps up and out of the hold. They're at a stalemate, and the fans cheer the amateur wrestling style. Gable takes his hero down and applies a front face lock. Angle fights up and fires back with a shoulder block. Angle runs at him in the corner, but Gable responds with an elbow. Angle catches him with a belly-to-belly overhead suplex, and Gable quickly rolls out of the ring to recover. Gable makes his way back into the ring and takes Angle's back and slams him down. Angle reverses into a slam of his own and a headlock. Gable struggles to his feet and gets Kurt on one knee with a wrist lock. A pocket of the crowd began chanting CM Punk, and the rest of the crowd booed them. It's very possible at WWE Gable has never been happier to be on the receiving end of a suplex than right there. Hashtag Raw. Angle whips Gable into the corner, chest first. Angle runs at Gable, who dodges him, sending Kurt through the ropes to the floor. As Angle slowly gets back in the ring, Gable kicks his knee. Gable then goes to work on the leg. Gable applies a submission to the leg, but Angle kicks him off. Angle then knocks Gable out of the ring with a clothesline, and we take a break. Back live, and Gable is sliding into the ring. Angle hits him with a clothesline, then another, followed by a back body shot. Gable leaps off the middle rope with a sunset flip, but Angle rolls through for an ankle lock. Gable reverses into a pin and tip, but Kurt kicks out. Angle catches Gable with a German suplex, but Gable then gets him in an ankle lock. They steal each other's moves. The Chicago crowd boos. Angle rolls forward, sending Gable into the turnbuckles. Kurt looks for an Angle slam, but Gable reverses it into a DDT. Angle kicks out, but Chad climbs to the top rope and looks for a Sahi moonsault, but nobody's home. Angle then grabs Gable with an ankle lock and wraps around the challenger, forcing him to tap. They try and go finisher for finisher and what have you. After the match, Angle lifts Gable to his feet and hugs him. Baron Corbin then comes out and the fans boo. Corbin says he enjoyed laughing and humiliating Angle at Raw GM. It felt good, but it won't feel as good as when he humbles and humiliates him in his final match. He says it won't matter what Kurt has done in his career. They'll just remember his last match. The fans chant, "We want Cena." Real Kurt Angle has done it again. Farewell tour continues with another victory. We'll see a video from last week when Drew McIntyre ambushed Roman Reigns, then destroyed Ambrose in Falls Count Anywhere match. Commercial break. Sasha Banks and Bayley are in the ring with Charlie Caruso. Interviewer asks why the duo have been to Raw and NXT, but not SmackDown Live. Sasha gets heated at Charlie, but Bayley steps in and says they don't fear anyone, and that's why they will be making an appearance tomorrow night on SmackDown Live. She hints that they will address Billie Kay and Peyton Royce specifically. Natalya then comes out, followed by Beth Phoenix. They get to the ring, and the fans cheer for Phoenix. She says she respects both Banks and Bayley, and she watched everything they did to get where they are. She says Natty and her would love to have had that opportunity when she was a competitor. She said she was a content to do commentary and watch the women's revolution unfold. That was until she saw Nia Jackson Tamina trying to set the whole division back a few years. She says that awoke the dragon. and it got her thinking that her and Natalya may still be able to accomplish their goals. She says if Bayley and Sasha truly claim that they're willing to defend the titles at any time, she will be willing to step out of retirement to face them at WrestleMania. Yes, please. At the Beth Phoenix is ready to step out of retirement in order for her and Nat by Nature to take on at Sasha Banks WWE and it's Bayley WWE. For the at WWE Women's at hashtag WrestleMania, hashtag Raw. Bayley says it would be an honor for them to have that match, but wouldn't she rather have more time to prepare? Fans boo, and Bayley says she doesn't mean it in a bad way. It's just that Beth has been retired for 6 years. And the competition hasn't evolved since she was around. Natalya reminds Bayley who Beth Phoenix is, a Hall of Famer and former women's champion who has a zero reason to be afraid of a little girl like her. Sasha asks Natalya who she thinks she is and says they know who Beth is. Banks says Natalya is just riding Beth's coattails trying to get a match at WrestleMania. Natalya then slaps Banks and they start brawling. Phoenix shoves Bayley and the two teams are left staring at each other down as we go to a commercial break. And the match is up. The bell rings and Banks takes her down with a Thea's press and some punches. Natalya gets out, but Banks kicks her. Natalya sidesteps her and spikes her on her tailbone. Natalya steps on her and hits a low drop kick for a near fall. Natalya finds an abdominal stretch and grabs the leg for good measure. Banks gets out and rolls her up for a 2 count. Banks throws her to the corner and hits double knees. Natalya soon sidesteps her and hits a discus clothesline. Banks rolls out of the ring to recover. Nia Jax comes out to the stage and sarcastically applauds Beth Phoenix for coming out of retirement. Jax says she isn't jealous of Phoenix because she's done more than Phoenix did in her entire career. Fans boo, but Nia continues that Phoenix is only back because she is getting recognition for being the new monster. She's the prettier, stronger version of the Glamazon. Tamina then sneaks up from behind and shoves Phoenix into the ring post before clocking Bayley and Banks with meager super kicks. What about disqualification, Sasha Banks and Bayley? Tamina then joins Nia on the ramp and says that they'll see them at WrestleMania. This could be so much better. This should be so much better than it is, but the booking is so poor. Mojo Rawley backstage talking to herself in the mirror. Once again, imagine getting paid to do this. Rawley says potential isn't any good if you don't do anything with it. Rawley screams at himself why he can't figure it out. Nothing much here. Ricochet makes his entrance. He'll be next and next. Commercial break. Ricochet versus Jinder Mahal with the Singh Brothers. Bell rings and Mahal powers the one and only to the center. Ricochet fires back with a Hurricanrana before drop kicking Mahal out of the ring. Ricochet feigns a dive and the crowd smatters some applause. Back in the ring, Ricochet shoulders Mahal before being whipped to the corner. Ricochet kicks the former champion back, but the Singh Brothers grab his ankle. Mahal then clotheslines Ricochet down and takes control of the pace. Mahal digs his knee into Ricochet before hitting a scoop slam for a 2 count. Mahal applies a chin lock to Ricochet and holds it on for a while. Ricochet fights up, but Mahal continues to control him. Finally, Ricochet hits an enziguri and a rolling drop kick to make a comeback. Ricochet ducks the right hand and hits a head scissor takeover. Ricochet hits a running shoulder block and hits a springboard clothesline. Ricochet hits a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Singh Brothers pull Mahal out of the ring for the save. Ricochet then hits a cartwheel, Fosbury flop on Mahal and the Singh's on the outside. Ricochet gets Mahal in the ring and goes to the top for the 630 and the win. It's only at King Ricochet picks up the win over at Jinder Mahal on hashtag Raw. Wow, the crowd was pretty dead throughout that, and I can't blame them. This doesn't feel like the road to WrestleMania. There are only a couple of big matches building, while the rest of the show feels like fillers. Still to come, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre, Ronda Rousey versus Dana Brooke. Rousey BMF walks her way to the ring. Commercial break. Dr. Fentez interviews Seth Rollins backstage and asks if fighting a bigger guy like McIntyre is practice for Lesnar. Seth says he isn't afraid to fight fire with fire. Tonight isn't about proving anything. It's about getting revenge for what Drew did to his brothers. and then he planned on going to Suplex City and burning it down. And we see Dana Brooke in gorilla position. Charlie asks her if she knows what she's getting herself into. Dana says this is the road to WrestleMania, where dreams become reality and underdogs make history. She says she isn't naive. She might not be as good as Ronda Rousey, but she only has to be better for 3 seconds. Can Dana Brooke WWE pull off the ultimate upset and capture the #Raw, #Women's Championship from at Ronda Rousey? And that championship match is up next. Match gets underway and Dana catches a kick before snapping Ronda. Ronda fires back with a knee to the face, followed by a few more knees and an armbar for the win. An armbar or the win. And that was basically about a minute match. Rousey refuses to let go of the armbar, and Dana screams in agony. The official forces Ronda off and she shoves him down. Ronda then leaves the ring and goes to kiss her husband. Security grabs a hold of her and she takes one down and beats him. Another starts to pull Ronda off, and her husband, UFC fighter Travis Brown, clocks the guy with a stiff elbow. He then lifts Ronda over the barricade, and the two of them leave through the crowd. Officials are left in the ring trying to help Dana Brooke, who is still selling the effects of the armbar. Well, Ronda Rousey has already won this match, and husband at Travis Brown, MMA just helped her in a fight against security. After break, Batista will share inside the story. Commercial break. Apollo Crews versus Baron Corbin. Bell rings and Corbin soon takes him down with a shoulder block. Crews drop kicks him and kips up. Corbin then slides out of the ring and Crews hits a moonsault off the apron and wipes the lone wolf out. Apollo gets back in the ring, but Corbin fires back with a stiff forearm. Corbin throws him head first into the corner as the constipated one goes for an out and in clothesline, but Crews avoids it. Corbin then takes him down and applies a chin lock to slow the pace down. Corbin looks for a chokeslam, but Crews lands on his feet. Crews then hits the ropes, but Corbin comes back with a deep six for a near fall. Corbin punches Crews while the crowd chants, "We want Cena." Crews flies right through the end of days and rolls Corbin up for the win. Winner of the match, Apollo Crews. Corbin's furious after the match, while Kurt Angle meets Crews on the ramp and celebrates with his win. Then we see Batista sitting down, being fitted with a microphone. He'll be doing his interview after the break. Batista is live by satellite from Tampa, Florida. Michael Cole thanks Batista for joining them. Cole wants to know why he's so angry with Triple H. Batista says that he just doesn't like the guy. Since he left, all he's wanted to do is come back and have that one last match with him. Now here we are. Cole says, that's a vague answer. Where does this go back to? Evolution? Batista sits quietly before saying it goes back to way further back than that. Batista keeps hearing that he owes his career to Triple H. Before Evolution, Triple H groomed him to be his muscle. Triple H uses people to protect him and make him look good. DX and Evolution are the same thing. Triple H used him like some big meathead, holding him down and underestimating him. I left at Triple H because he didn't think I was a star. At Dave Batista, #Raw. Cole mentions that Batista quit in 2010 and walked out of the height of his career. Does he blame Triple H for that? Batista asks, why shouldn't I? Batista also doesn't like people saying he quit. Imagine having a buddy who is also your boss and jealous. Batista felt like he never got a fair opportunity. He said Triple H didn't think he was a big enough star to be on the top of the company. Ever since then, he left and became world famous. Batista is now in a position of control and is getting what he deserves. Coleslaw says he's known Triple H for over 20 years. He's been nothing but fair to him. Look what he does for NXT Superstars. Batista asks what is wrong with Cole. Triple H is known as the cerebral assassin. He says Triple H has him fooled. Triple H is the most selfish, insecure, jealous, control freak he's ever met. Batista says one day, hopefully soon, Vince will wake up and fire Triple H to end his professional career. At WrestleMania, he'll end Triple H's in-ring career. Batista then kicks the film crew out of his office. Charlie Caruso is backstage with Braun Strowman. She asked him about the attack on the car last week. And Strowman says they came to his house and disrespected him and WWE. These two have him so angry that he's entering the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal so as many people as possible can get these hands. Alexa Bliss walks up and says she wants the broker. She wants to broker peace as a host of WrestleMania. Bliss asks for a week to make it right. Strowman agrees. If they disrespect him again, he'll show them what discipline is really is. Drew McIntyre makes his entrance. He'll face Seth Rollins after the break. After commercial, McIntyre's in the ring and replays are shown of him sending Roman Reigns head first to the ring post last week on Raw. Roman Reigns is not medically cleared to be here tonight. When Reigns returned, everyone rejoiced in the fact that Big Dog is back. At Fastlane, he could tell Reigns wasn't the same and relied on the Shield to get through it. Now the Shield is no more. McIntyre now has Seth Rollins attacking him from behind like a coward and viciously assaulting him. Rollins is just like the crowd, deluded and living in the fantasy world. Last week, McIntyre revealed the truth when he dropped Reigns. This is his yard now. McIntyre wants to take a moment to speak to Roman Reigns. Not Roman Reigns, the superstar, but Joe, the man. That's what Reigns told them to call him when his leukemia came back. Joe, the husband and father. Now he's Joe at home because of him. If Reigns wanted to be an inspiration to the people, he has a challenge for him. McIntyre is challenging Reigns to a fight at WrestleMania. McIntyre knows the answer already, as do the people. McIntyre tells Reigns to look at his wife and children. McIntyre is asking him to say no to it. McIntyre tells Reigns to choose his family and not the people because they don't give a damn about him. McIntyre swears that if Reigns fights him at WrestleMania, all bets are off. He says what he did to Reigns and Ambrose will be like nothing. McIntyre will maim and destroy him. He says Reigns may have beaten leukemia, but on the grandest stage of them all, Reigns will never beat him. Gross as usual. Seth Rollins appears on the Titantron. Rollins says that's why he did what he did to him earlier in the night. Replays are shown of Rollins viciously beating McIntyre with a steel chair earlier. As Rollins says that was for his brothers, and this is for him now. Rollins music hits and he comes running out. McIntyre runs and meets him on the ramp as they brawl. Referees pull them apart as we hit to the break. We return to the match in progress. McIntyre takes him down and applies an armbar. Rollins fights up, but McIntyre takes him down with a back elbow for a 2 count. Rollins tries to fight back, but Drew takes him down with 2 vertical suplexes and a 2 count. McIntyre clubs him down and reapplies the armbar. Seth fights up and kicks him in the face before throwing him out of the ring. McIntyre pulls Seth out of the ring, but Rollins fires back with some punches and chops. McIntyre tries to toss Rollins into the steps, but Seth attempts a backflip moonsault and lands on his feet on the floor hard. As we go to commercial, back from commercial, McIntyre unleashes some chops on the number 1 contender. During the commercial break, McIntyre hit the belly overhead suplex. McIntyre looks for a powerbomb, but Rollins counters into a hurricanrana. McIntyre rolls out of the ring to recover. Rollins goes for a suicide dive, but McIntyre catches him and slams him into the barricade. McIntyre grabs a steel chair and thinks about using it while the referee tries to stop him. McIntyre smacks the ring post with the chair, then swings, but Rollins drop kicks him. Both men get in the ring. Just before being counted out, Rollins immediately clotheslines Drew back out of the ring and hits 2 quick suicide dives. McIntyre gets in the ring again, and Rollins hits him with a sling blade. Rollins follows up with a super kick for a near fall. Rollins sets up for the powerbomb, but Drew shrugs him off and hits a back body drop. But Rollins lands on his feet. McIntyre catches him with an inverted Alabama slam for a near fall. Seth took that bump hard. McIntyre puts him on the top rope and punches him. Seth climbs down, but then McIntyre pulls him up to the top rope with him. The Scotsman headbutts Rollins off, but Rollins quickly scales the ropes and hits a superplex followed by a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Rollins sets up for the stomp, but Brock Lesnar's music hits. Universal Champion makes his way to the stage with Paul Heyman. Rollins is distracted. Lesnar hands Heyman his title belt. and starts walking to the ring. But McIntyre then levels Rollins with a Claymore kick for the win. Back on stage, Lesnar and Heyman are laughing. Lesnar takes his belt back for the Advocate, as he clearly had no intention of coming to the ring. Burn down. Hashtag Suplex City. At Brock Lesnar and at Paul Heyman. Heyman hustle. Don't think so. At WWE Rollins. That's it for this week's Raw. What happened after Raw ended at this link? Closing the Raw segment, saw Drew McIntyre make his exit after the main event win over Seth Rollins. Baron Corbin hit the ring after Raw went off the air, and the two took turns on Corbin to send him retreating. Reader Mr. Rez sent word that a small "Don't Go Dean" chant broke after the fight. Ambrose went to the corners of the ring and waved. He then bowed to the crowd. He also threw a few kisses to the crowd before walking up the ramp. With Rollins raised Ambrose's arm on the stage. Ambrose then ran over to the announce table to wave to the fans on the upper balcony. Ambrose went back around and high-fived some fans, then waved some more before going to the back. Mr. Rez noted that this felt like a farewell from Ambrose to the Chicago crowd. And that concludes my Raw and WWE main event video for this week. Results for this week. That'll be it. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters. And that's the bottom line, because Tommy said